Hey everybody, it's Sean with the Driver's Perspective. I know it's been a little while since I uploaded a video, but I'm back, and today I'm headed up to the Secret Car Club. It's kind of a neat little car meet that happens on Saturday mornings here. I won't tell you where because then it wouldn't be a secret, but it's a really neat meet, some really cool people. So I thought I would cruise up there, grab some coffee, talk about the 86, basically tell you the state of affairs for 2019 so far, and let's get on the road. So, as far as 2019 is concerned, it's been a bit of an interesting year. For those of you that don't know, and I haven't really been public about this, but last year I actually left my job where I was at for the last 4 years to have a bit of a sabbatical, go on a long vacation, and work for myself for a little while. So that's kind of what's been going on. So there's been some gaps in videos because I've just been focused on doing that and taking care of business there. So I just haven't been able to put as much time into the cars. Likewise the Miata, which I keep saying I want to do. I just haven't made the time for it, and when I do get a chance to go have fun, I end up taking this car because it's easier, it's more fun, and it's just the preferred choice at this stage. And as a quick note, if you do come up to the Secret Car Meet, there's always a cop on this road, so make sure you don't speed. He loves getting people early in the morning, him or her. It depends on who you get that day, so just something to keep in mind. But yeah, so 2019 is it's been a bit of a journey, but all good things. I really can't complain. As far as the car, what's going on with the car? Well, we put the Greddy lip on it. I love it. It looks great. The paint quality's been pretty acceptable. It's not OEM grade, but man, it gets the job done. I mean, I've already had a couple cone marks on it, and it is what it is. This car, I mean, really has been, for the most part, pretty set and forget. We had that issue with the struts last year. Not really a huge deal, but just we had to do some maintenance, and it's due for some fluid changes. We need to do the oil, the transmission, the differential fluid. So I'll have a quick maintenance video and kind of like checkup video on what to do with that when I do get around to doing that. Need to bleed the brakes. Not very exciting stuff, which is, again, part of the reason there's been a lack of videos. It's just been such a good car, knock on wood, but there hasn't been a lot to film as far as project updates. So that's why we're heading out to this fun car meet and get to drive on a twisty road. I hardly drive this car in the street. I mean, it doesn't even, it's gonna turn 9,000 miles today if it hasn't already. I mean, I really barely drive this car other than an autocross or, going somewhere every once in a while on the weekend. But so on the street, I do always run the Michelin Pilot, or not the Michelin Pilot, but just the Primacy tires that come with it. I actually like this setup on the street. It's fun. You don't need a mount and a grip, and these tires make it work. Try not to scare the bikers, and watch out for cross traffic here. But really, this car overall, I feel like, has been a huge success as a project. I was able to walk that fine line and have a fun project car that rips at the track and is still really amazing on the street. I'd say the biggest thing that has detracted from the overall comfort of this car has been the camber plates, but those are a necessary evil. So if you didn't have to have camber plates, I mean, this thing would be even cushier. It just, over sharp bumps, it transmits a little bit more through the steering wheel and the chassis, I think, than I would prefer. But, that's just if I'm being nitpicky. Otherwise, the car actually rides really smooth. The big brake kit does make a little bit of noise. It sounds like you have a card in your bicycle spokes, like when you're a kid. That's probably the only thing I would say about that, and it does tend to squeak a little bit, even with the street-based pads. The exhaust setup is, God, it's so good. I really love the way this thing sounds. It sounds so refined, and there's no funkiness, there's no drone. It's a really good setup. I've been really happy with it, and you know, I don't see myself changing anything out unless it fails, really. You know, this thing has been pretty set and forget in terms of getting it ready for events. It takes a little bit of time to swap wheels and, you know, do a quick once over to make sure everything's looking good. But if you're on the fence about getting a car like this and setting it up for, you know, STX or even C Street would be fun, don't hesitate. I mean, it's a great platform. Is it as fast as some of the STR cars? No, but I think as a utilitarian type vehicle, it works really well. And, you know, you have storage, you have room. You know, I'm not banging my elbows on the door card like I am in a Miata. That kind of stuff bugs me these days. I want to have just a little bit more space around me. So I'll take the weight penalty and I'll take the speed penalty for, you know, for what I get with this car. I mean, it's a hoot. It really is. It's hard to really put to words, and it's really one of those things that the sum of the parts and, you know, the numbers on paper don't really tell the story, because driving this, it's just so good. I could put anybody in this car and they're gonna have a good time. It's balanced, it's easy to drive, you know, you don't have any fear driving it. It's just so easy to put exactly where you want on the road. The brakes, for me, are, you know, I'll deal with the noise because they're so good. I mean, this feels like a mini Cayman. I mean, that's what I've always told people, is this is kind of like the poor man's Cayman, but I mean, this legitimately, in every way, feels like a miniature Cayman. And I love it for that. I mean, I love it even more for that. Well, that was the short road. So I guess we'll transition to, this is the car meet. It's a pretty quaint little part of San Diego, and we'll see what has showed up today. It should be pretty fun.
I'll do me just invisible. Yeah. I show up and not a single person looking at the car. Yeah, right.
Alright, so that's a quick walk around at the Secret Car Club. I got up here a little bit late today, so everybody's already starting to split. Didn't see any of my buddies, but it's cool to check out a few cars. I really like that BAC mono. I mean, where else do you see those? Especially registered and being driven on the street, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, if you're in the area and you know where to go, come check it out, but don't ruin it for everybody. This is a really, really special meet, so it's one of those ones that's actually been around a long time, and I hope it continues to be around because it's always awesome. It's a really interesting collection of cars, you know, LS Swap 944s, you know, the more exclusive supercars. Not that I care too much about those, but it is cool to see them in person and in the flesh and not just on a poster. But yeah, just a great collection of cars and people. So let's get back to talking about the 86 and you know, what the heck's going on with it and where we're going. So let's get back to driving on that fun twisty road, and we'll talk some more. So I know I've had a bit of a request for more exhaust noise, so I'm trying a different audio recording setup right now, and I think I'm actually just gonna shut up for a few seconds here and let you enjoy just a little bit of pure sound and what it's like to drive around in this car. As you can see, this car is awesome and fun, and this is on the stock Michelin tires that everybody hates on, and I just don't get it. It is so much fun with this setup. Even with the stiffer springs, these tires stretched across the 7.5-inch TRD wheels, it works so well, and it's so much fun. And they squeak, and you know, they'll chirp a little bit like they did just back there, but who cares? I don't need to go any faster on a public road. It's already too fast, to be honest. So they're more than enough to have some fun. I intend to try and find another set of takeoffs of these from somebody else who's getting rid of them, because I know how much everybody hates them. It's hilarious, and they're actually a solid tire otherwise. Bit of fun with this GTI. Hopefully I'm not scaring him too much. Don't want to be too rude. So, yeah, where are we headed with this car? I honestly don't see too many more things occurring in terms of modification. I do plan on putting on a small ducktail spoiler, like a carbon fiber variant, or maybe a SARD LSR wing. I like that idea because it's very easy to remove for autocross days, especially if I'm running an STX. And yes, I know the lip isn't really STX legal, but at a local level, I'm not really worried. If somebody protests me, I'm fine with taking it off and dealing with that. I'm just gonna leave it on until it's a problem. And you know, I would like to have some rear aero on there just for funsies. If it's a ducktail, obviously that's something that just stays on, and I'm not going to swap it on and off and on and off. Again, I'll just run it at a local level until somebody complains, and if somebody complains, I'll take it off. It's just gonna be how it goes for me. The reality of it is, I don't see much more than maybe that and a set of side skirts happening. Mechanically, the only major mechanical change I could see doing is swapping the shocks out. 9for9 Racing is working on their Zeta coilovers now, and I know for a fact that I want them. I have them in my Miata, so when those come available, I plan on buying those right away, and that'll be the only other big change I foresee in the immediate future. Obviously, things happen and things do change, but yeah, I really don't see a massive change other than maybe the shocks and getting it corner balanced and set up. I got it really dialed in right now, so I'm not too worried about it. But, you know, it is what it is. And that was the cop that I was talking about. Right there, and that was the GTI we were following earlier. So I think you gotta be a little careful here when you come up this way. Oh boy. That is why we don't race on the street, kids. You know, so mechanically, yeah, that's gonna be the only thing. I do really want to get this to a track this year. I said I was gonna do it last year, but you know, when you autocross 20 times in a year, the motivation for me to go to the big track was really low. I was already giving up a lot of weekends to autocross, and I got to make sure I save time for the wife, and you know, I have some other hobbies and things that I do like doing, and I got to make sure I make time for those as well. I'm trying to be more balanced in 2019 with what I do and how I have my fun, so there may be more breaks with videos. I just don't know. I don't want to just also push out garbage videos that are clickbait, and it's just not me. So I really don't want to ever do that if I don't have to. You know, of course, you know, the titles every once in a while, if you want to work the algorithm right, they do need to be a bit clickbaity. But I mean, the actual content of my videos is, I've always really tried to make sure that I'm providing something of value, and you know, it is what it is. But I hope you enjoyed this fun little video, a little bit of driving action on a regular road, which for me is actually quite unusual, and having just a little bit of fun talking about the car and where we're going with it. If you like the video, you know what to do, and let's see if we can prove all those people wrong at the very end here, that the BRZ and the 86, the FRS, can't get on the freeway. So one moment, please. Oh, I think we're doing okay so far. Oh, nope, there's another car. We need to get in front. I think it works all right. And on that bombshell, I'm Sean with the driver's perspective.